They get to recognize the Lifetime Achievement Award recipient. That recipient for this year is Dr. Kimberly Alexander, who's sitting right in front of me here, and I'll call her up in a minute. I won't make her stand on the stage for this whole thing.
Thank you.
Dr. Kimberly Alexander is a Pentecostal historian who has served the society in multiple positions. On the membership committee, the history interest group chair, bylaws committee, program chair, and president in 2010 to 2011.
Don't forget the minutes.
The minutes
committee. Oh, that's, yeah.
Decade now.
Minutes committee. That is not one that I would appreciate. Her research has focused on early Pentecostal thought and practice, gender and Pentecostal experience, and the development of theological and pedagogical approaches congruent with Pentecostal experience and spirituality. She received her PhD from Open University St. John's College, Nottingham in the UK in 2002. Her doctoral thesis, Models of Pentecostal Healing and Practice in Light of Early 20th Century Pentecostalism, was published as Pentecostal Healing Models of Theology and Practice in the Journal Pentecostal Theology Supplement Series, and won the prestigious Foundation for Pentecostal Scholars Book Award in 2007. I've actually used that process before. Dr. Alexander served as Associate Professor of Historical Theology and Assistant Vice President for Academic and Student Assessments at the Pentecostal Theological Seminary in Cleveland, Tennessee from 1999 to 2011. For the next 9 years, she was Associate Professor of the History of Christianity in the Regent University School of Divinity. Since 2020, Dr. Alexander has served as a faculty member and director-developer of online program for the Ramp School of Ministry in Hamilton, Alabama. Significantly, she has over 40 years of experience in parish ministry and worship leadership. Dr. Alexander's early research developed and pioneered a groundbreaking historiographical methodology, that's tough to say, now utilized by numerous scholars in a variety of disciplines beyond history, to include constructive theology and biblical studies. The reception of her work in the larger guild has led to invitations to present and publish on the connections between Pentecostal sacramental healing practices with other Christian traditions, including Roman Catholicism. It has also opened the doors for Alexander to be engaged in numerous ecumenical and interdisciplinary endeavors. More recently, her incorporation of gender analysis in the study of global Pentecostalism has led to recover the voices of women who though lacking representation in the larger upper echelons, nonetheless run the movement from the ground up. Along her numerous scholarly contributions, Dr. Alexander co-authored Women in Leadership, a Pentecostal Perspective with Dr. Hollis Goss, co-authored What Women Want, Pentecostal Women Ministers Speak for Themselves with Dr. James Bauer. More recently, together with Melissa Archer and Mark Cartledge and Michael Palmer, she co-edited Sisters, Mothers, Daughters, Pentecostal Perspectives, and Violence Against Women. On a personal note, I got to know, I'm going to call you Kim.
Yes, please.
When she, along with some other people in this room, were part of the Fame of Love project that was being run by Margaret Loma. So a funny story, one time we were meeting in Ohio, in Akron, and I think her flight came in late or something, and so I was standing there, and she came in, and so we were talking, she goes, I need to eat, I haven't eaten, so I said, okay, so we went to eat. So we kind of missed the first meeting, sitting in the restaurant, having lunch, and talking about, I think we're talking about our projects and all sorts of other things in terms of what we talk about as professors and schools and assessments and so on. So I've known Kim since that time. I know her before, but working together, I got to know her better. Anyway, I would like to come forward and accept the Lifetime Achievement Award for 2023.
I'm a lot overwhelmed, actually. I'm not sure, I've written out some things, I'm not sure I even like everything I've said, but I believe everything I've said, but I don't know if it says everything I want to say. So anyway, we'll see. We'll just go with it, because I don't want to keep battling you like this. So when Dr. Hinkle, Adrian, contacted me to tell me I was being honored for my lifetime achievement, this is real, this is serious. I had two immediate thoughts. First, I literally thought, I'm not old enough for that, am I? Literally. Then I thought, oh, I haven't yet done enough to be recognized for that. And both of those thoughts are quite revealing about me, I think. And I have finally reconciled myself to one of them. I'll wait and figure out which one. Nevertheless, I am deeply moved and honored by this recognition, and I'm overwhelmed, again, I said that once, but I am, to be thought of even in the same category as those who've been honored before me. The people under whom I've studied, who've mentored me, scholars whose work I've built upon, those who paved the way for me, when that way was a lot steeper and a lot rockier. Lest I leave out any name, I'm not going to try to list all of those people who are now, some in the great cloud of witnesses, some still present here, some in this room, many of them here in this room tonight, always cheering me on. And I would like to publicly acknowledge, however, women pioneer scholars who've served as presidents of the society before me. There's not that many of us still. Edith Blumhofer, Cheryl Bridges-Johns, Rebecca Skaggs, Anthea Butler, and Estrella Alexander. All of us are in your debt, whether male or female. But for me, a young female scholar beginning a little later in life on my PhD than some of my male colleagues did, the names and presence of those women leading and having voice was everything. And I saw in you what I could be, or at least I saw what could be. SPS has always been a hospitable place for me, a community where my voice and contributions mattered, where my gifts were valued, one where my leadership and wisdom was actually sought out. And that was an unusual situation, a rare one. I can tell you that it's not the everyday space occupied by female scholars. Rather than feeling like an escape from the real world, this actually has always felt like the real world. Maybe a parallel universe, but still a real one. A place where I and others see who we are and who we've been called to be. I want to thank what I call the SPS Sisterhood, women scholars who may not see each other but once per year, but who, thanks to texting and other messaging apps, find support, prayer, sounding board, shoulder to cry on, ear to scream into, those things, encouragement from each other on a regular basis. You know who you are. My students have taught me so much, and I've been so enriched by our conversations and discussions, your work, and your diligence. And I want to especially thank the young scholars who consistently bring your gifts to us and who have helped me to see things differently and have challenged me to do my work in more creative ways. I value your contributions, your sense of humor, I see you, Andrea Johnson, your creativity, and in some cases your sense of style, though Leah is not with us this week, but Dara is. Where are you, Dara? And I must thank the men in this room and in this society who've opened doors for me, called things out of me that they saw when I couldn't, who've let me ask questions, who've collaborated with me, who sponsored me, published my work, mentored me, edited my work. The list just goes on. I will never forget those early days when space was made for me to sit with superstar scholars and bounce my early research questions off them. And literally, when I say space was made, seats were saved at banquets and things like that by people like Chris Thomas for me, and I'll never forget those times. I mean, once we got snowbound in Springfield. Anybody remember that one? We got snowbound in Springfield, and I found myself sitting in the hotel lobby talking to Walter Hollenbecker about healing. I mean, I was like fangirling out. And I got a picture of me with Walter from that Springfield snowbound meeting. So I didn't grow up in a family of scholars, but I did grow up in a family who valued women and who valued education. And they were and are very Pentecostal and holiness. So we actually called ourselves holiness, So I come from a long line of hardworking, sturdy, tough, diligent, passionate, and fiery, yes, fiery women and men, many preachers among them, and I'm so grateful for them and for how that has shaped me. Thank you, Corky, who's down here, for always encouraging me and making sure the church people we pastored knew that my research, my writing, my teaching, my time away to research and write were ministry. I'm grateful for my 3 beautiful daughters who listened to many mealtime conversations about Aldersgate and Azusa Street, and even had to go to those sacred sites on pilgrimage when we were doing family vacations. They always tell the story about Corky and I speaking in tongues at Aldersgate on the street. So anyway, but we were there, and Corky said, "Kim, what's the date?" And we were jet lagged, and I said, "It's May 24th." Anybody ever know what that is? May 24th. The day John Wesley said his heart was strangely warm, and we were right there on the streets, So jet lagged and speaking in tongues. My daughters today are strong leaders and mothers, pastors. They're empowering their children and other women. And let me talk about those children for just a minute, those grandchildren. There are 9 of them. They are amazing. There are 8 boys that are delightful and funny and talented, and 1 really mighty girl who is a leader. There's no greater joy for me than seeing who my daughters have become and how they're nurturing and leading others. And I love all of my sons-in-law. I've been really blessed. I'm grateful now to the Ramp community, a ministry founded and led by an anointed, holiness Pentecostal woman who just a few months ago ordained me. For giving me space to be who I'm called to be, where women are valued as leaders and pastors, healers, and prophets. Most of all, I'm overwhelmed by the love of Jesus for me. I'm thankful that the Spirit has led me and gifted me for this amazing work that we all get to do. I'm so grateful for that. Thank you all. I love you all so much. Thank you.